how many people on payroll, but like how many people are like permanent in your team?
No one is permanent. Everybody is.
Everyone's subcontract.
Yeah, everyone's part time and helps. Everybody has to have their normal jobs.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's where we're starting.
4 race series, and you've just
I think
making it work.
Yeah, I mean,
bootstrapping.com, huh?
Exactly, but our saying is like by any means. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like everybody on our team is like really down for the cause. Like it's hard to express to somebody who doesn't understand like the love of it, like to be able to be like, like last night, myself and a handful of us, we were up till 2:15 working on stuff, just because it has to get done. Like we don't have a lot of people, it just has to get done. I don't want to run like that forever, but it's what we need to do to get off the ground.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely get to the point where we have full-time employees, but right now it's just not an option. There's no financing for it. It's not an option. So it's tough. It is tough. Like I don't want to complain about it, but
no, it's not. But I think it's special. Like I see, like your son and his friends, like they're getting to ride their bikes all around the country, but they're also like helping, and I think that's really good for them in general. And you say you got families here, and they come up and they cook. Your mother-in-law.
My parents are here. My wife's parents are here.
I think that's
Everybody's
really special.
working.
Like it's a family affair, and yeah, I mean, it's good to just like shed light on that, because they just see this amazing logo on your shirt and be like, oh my goodness. And yeah, they are kicking in money, don't get me wrong. That's why there's prize money. That's why there's amazing course, safety, all these things. But like, yeah, I hope people will just like stop and appreciate every organizer out there, and you like, because we're all quick to bitch and moan. Like I've been there myself, like as a racer, this isn't good enough, this is bad. It's like, yeah, fair enough. Let's try to take the feedback on, but like it takes so much to get these things off the ground.
And it really comes down to heart, right? Like there's times I think when you as an athlete have a valid complaint against somebody who's like taking the money and their heart's not in the right place.
Yeah.
But like I'll meet every complainer head on, because like we're balls to the wall. Like there is no lack of investment from any person involved in this brand, in this Pro Downhill Series. And man, it's a bike race, first of all, right? We're not trying to, like, we're not government
putting
workers.
A man on the moon.
Yeah, and we're not government workers. We don't owe anybody anything. Your tax dollars didn't pay for this, like,
Yeah.
And so it's like when people come at us with like this should be this way, or what's wrong with you, or this or that, usually after 20 minutes of talking to that person, they become some of our biggest proponents. It's funny. So Cash Shaleen is this really fast up and coming 15-16 racer. I'm a huge fan of the kid. All these Cat 1 15-16 kids, the boys and the girls, they're awesome. They're like here to change the game, and they don't even know it. I get so stoked hanging out with these kids. Seriously, like living vicariously through them too, because like my son's in that group, and like they're all around all the time. Our condo's full of these kids. They're helping with a lot of work, but I'm helping them travel. I'm putting them up. I'm paying for their food. They help me, so I help them. And their work ethic is sick. Like it's crazy how hard these kids work, and I think it's because they didn't get to the point where they didn't want to have a work ethic, right? Like it's pretty interesting. Like at the end of a race, this group of Cat 1 15-16 kids that hangs out to help me, they're like putting down pro times and then hanging out till dark helping tear down the venue, and like I don't get that from a lot of people. I certainly, there's not a lot of adults hanging out doing that, but the group that you went out with yesterday, so it was like my son Zach, and then Kai Burleson, and Colton Hubbard, and Sully Nataro was in there. I don't remember who all was in that group.
And Ryder
Lawrence was there. Ryder Lawrence had just gotten here. He hasn't been here working all week.
Yeah, fair enough.
But those other kids, dude, they all came in last week and have been just grinding away on
since
stuff.
It really, yeah.
Yeah, and
that's cool to see.
It's awesome, and they love it. They love it. Cash is usually part of the group, but he actually had an off-road race, so he was doing that. And then even on the girls' side too, like I said, like Eris Van Leuven and Victoria Zanoni, like they were both in the yurt building we have there, that weird little building where we store stuff. They were in there with Jess and Jamie for hours helping sticker number plates and stuff yesterday. They're all have like a keen interest in seeing like behind it and how it works, which is cool because we need them to be invested in this. Like we're building this for it to be their series, for them to have a career in. Like this is a place where we want them to have a career and not have to get like shipped off to Europe if they want a career, right? Like these are American kids growing up here, and sure, if they want to race around the world, that's great, but they also could race right here.
Is that like crystal ball one of your goals? That people like the industry takes notice, which I think they are already, as another place to earn a living racing bikes?
Yes. And you know, it's not, a lot of people want to position me as like, oh, against World Cup. It's not that at all. Not at all. I was just talking about this with Wynn earlier today. I think he recorded this conversation. But basically, we're, you know, there's two types of people in the world. Those who want to take it from others and those who want to just go get their own and build it. And, like, that's what we're doing. We're not I don't have a horse in the race in World Cup, right? Like, I think it's great. I'm a huge fan of it. I even think a lot of the changes they're making are good. Like, people probably mad at me for saying that. Like, I think they have to do a lot of what they're doing. They're a business too, and you know, it'd be fun maybe over a beer we could talk about. It makes perfect sense how they got to where they got, going through this dip in the industry, and then Red Bull coming in and them taking all comers and every privateer to the World Cup level and all this, and their model's just not set up for it. You know, like traveling globally and all that, it's not set up to have every single person be able to get into it. So I get it, it's fine, but I don't really care what they do. It doesn't necessarily impact me. So, you know, I like to just state that, like, we're not here to do any sort of battle with World Cup, not at all. No such thing. But we're also not here to build a feeder series. So are we one now? Sure, people are using it. I mean, the World Cup is still more important for athlete contracts. It's still the most important race series in the world, without a doubt. And so I'd be a fool if I tried to say it wasn't, or that we were more important. And we're years away from being equal to them. But ultimately, that's the goal, like to just be a series that does its own thing. We have our own venues. We're in our own continent here, and we work with our brands. Racing is marketing, so we work with our brand partners to create coverage and create opportunities for them and athletes, and just working for the athletes to buy into this too. And ultimately, it's about creating this new economy, or, well, not new, but another economy for
yeah, but it seems
racing.
like you're happy to grow the pie.
Of course.
Like, I think that's what you're able to do and could do, is like, yeah, it's not just a small pie and you're like, give me a piece. I'll take some of the riders away from the World Cup. It's not about that. It's like,
no, and
from what I'm seeing is like, where are all these people coming from? Like, you're growing it. More people are going to get into the sport because of this. That's
Totally.
also what I'm seeing.
And there's more people getting into the sport, but how about there's just not enough. There's so many people in the sport already that's why World Cup is saying, like, hey, we need to back off our numbers so we can produce the show we want to, just on a different scale, obviously, but similar to us saying, like, sorry, we can't take any more racers this weekend. We have a product we need to produce. We owe it to our sponsors. We owe it to the other hundreds of people that paid their registration fee. It's the same for a World Cup. They want to do a product a certain way, and it involves not taking every single racer in. From, you know, their issues are different than ours because they don't deal with amateurs on theirs, but it just, you know, puts a lot of athletes in a position where they are really excited about what we're doing because we're a good opportunity for them, and that's perfect. I mean,
and what about if you want to race more than 8 times a year?
Well, there's that. There's
that
as
also
well.
that as well.
Yeah.
Or 9 if there's Worlds, and yes, we're hearing there might be more, and we've been saying it for how long. But even if you go to 10 and Worlds, still like 11 races, big races, between March, April, and now October.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that many races in like a 6-month span.
No, and they're really expensive too, each one of those. You know, we also do work on being lower cost, right? Like one continental series. Like you can do the whole thing in a truck if you wanted to.
All those mad trailers I've seen in the parking lot.
Yeah.
There's some big ass trailers.
Yeah,
man.
we're
some
pretty
people are into it.
Well, that's exciting to me because it's people invested in it. You know, and they're buying these trucks and trailers, and
Like the families. And we're like,
Yeah,
we're going racing.
it puts a responsibility on us too. Like we feel like we need to deliver.
Yeah.
But like, there's just room. Like, look at motocross. Like, there's multiple big series. There's AMA Outdoor here. There's MXGP in Europe. There's athletes that have careers in both places. When people cross and race one series versus the other, it's exciting. People want to see it.
Yeah,
and
true.
So I think that the timing is just amazing that we came up with this. And at the same time, you know, the biggest series in the world also wants to shed some of its athletes and not have as many. So we're here for it. You know, this is the place for them to come race. As we build this series, I think those athletes, you know, in some of them will come to this series and find what they've been looking for, get their leg up and fully develop, you know? Like you take a kid from Australia or a kid from the US or South America or somewhere, and it's like they need to go chase this mostly European series, and they're spending a ton of money. They're far from home. They're uncomfortable. They're out of their element, and they may be amazing riders, but they're getting over there and just not able to get the leg up and get in. And so now there's another place for them to try to do that too. We're only just going to see more athletes reach their full potential.